Hi guys, Matt Davis-Adams here. The following clip is a section taken from the Athletic's Chelsea podcast, Straight Outta Cobham. You can listen to the rest of the weekly show for free wherever you get your podcasts and ad-free when you subscribe to The Athletic. Hope you enjoy it. Here's a tweet from Manu who asks, will Lampard still use the 4-3-3 going ahead, or will we actually see 4-2-3-1 more in play this season? Liam, you've written something on formations for The Athletic.
Yeah, my match piece was specifically on the 4-3-3 because it worked exceptionally well. Lampard kind of teased after the Krasnodar game that he wanted to take a look at it in bigger minutes. So it wasn't a surprise to see him start with it at Turf Moor. And the balance to Chelsea's play, I think, was better than arguably at any time in Lampard's tenure, I think. Ben Chilwell and Reece James were two of the most attacking players on the pitch, but it didn't compromise them defensively because of the security that N'Golo Kante gave to the defence in that deepest midfield position, the presence of Thiago Silva next to Kurt Zouma in that back line, the fact that Kante doesn't progress the ball brilliantly, perhaps as well as Jorginho or Kovacic, didn't matter so much with Mason Mount, who I thought was magnificent, and Kai Havertz either side of him being a bit more expansive. And then you had Timo Werner and Hakim Ziyech pretty much the functional points of Chelsea's attack, with Tammy Abraham almost a false nine. He dropped so deep to link play and I think did a really selfless job for the team. And overall, it was just a really complete Chelsea performance. And those were the words that Lampard used afterwards. And I think given the emphatic nature of the result and all aspects of their play, it really wouldn't surprise me now if Lampard decides to make this the team's default setting going forward.
And yet another clean sheet, although this one may be as much down to Burnley's ineptitude in front of goal as it was Chelsea's defensive solidity. But no denying that the brilliant start that Edouard Mendy's had, 1 goal conceded in his 6 Chelsea appearances versus Kepa's 14 in his last 6 Chelsea games. Simon, is he better than we expected, Mendy?
I think you have to say yes, just in terms of no one expected him to make this kind of impact, this kind of level of positive impact so soon. But it's not just down to him. I think Thiago Silva's been absolutely massive in front of him as well, just to give that reassuring presence. But the contrast in the whenever a shot or a cross comes in Chelsea's area, there's just a different feel about it. He's so much more of a commanding presence, and Chelsea is certainly reaping the benefits of this. You know, look, as the stat has come out, you know, this is the first keeper since Petr Cech to keep clean sheets in his first 3 league starts. I mean, it's very, very impressive stuff. Early days, you sort of feel like you don't want to talk him up too much and don't want to put the mockers on him. But definitely, shot stopping is good. His coming for crosses is good. His decision making is good. The only thing that has caused a bit of alarm was that weird pass that he attempted at Old Trafford that could have led to a rather embarrassing own goal. But apart from that, I don't think he's put a foot wrong.
You mentioned Mason Mount, Liam, a slightly adjusted position for him. I spoke to him post-match for Chelsea TV, and he said that is his position. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, definitely. And you can see that from the way he approached it. I think it's the position that allows him to show the full range of what he can do for a team. We all know that he's excellent at leading the press. He's good. He's a pretty good decision maker in possession, even if maybe his decisions in the final third can be improved a little bit. And he does the defensive side really well. He's got a very complete skill set, Mount, for a player so young, and I think that's really suited to a 3-man midfield where, as good as Kante is, he does need the 2 midfielders either side of him to help him and provide some of that energy and protection. He was arguably the best player on the pitch for Chelsea against Burnley.
Here's a question from Vivek, which I'll put to you, Dom. When I first read this, I raised an eyebrow, but actually maybe it's legit. They ask, is Zouma, Thiago Silva the best centre-back partnership in the Premier League currently? Manny adding, how important has Thiago Silva been next to Zouma? Big in sensational form at the moment. What do you think?
A few weeks ago, we would have scoffed at the suggestion. But actually, when you look at it and look at how Chelsea's defensive unit has been transformed and indeed, you know, how they've been performing has been transformed over recent weeks, it does appear to have the right combinations. I think I think Zouma's game is definitely improved, having somebody as experienced as Thiago Silva at his side. I mean, it must inspire you with confidence. You've got a player there that was playing in a blooming Champions League final a couple of months back alongside you. You're not asking Kurt Zouma to be the senior player in that back line, in the centre of that defence. So it must be a benefit. Any little aspects of the game, any little hints or tips, or even just watching Thiago Silva play will benefit Kurt Zouma's continued development in that role. And it does feel the right combination. There's an abrasiveness to it. There's an organisation to it now that Thiago is dictating things. I mean, Zouma's done it at both ends of the pitch recently. That was a booming header to put Chelsea 2 up at Turf Moor, and in a season where it's been wildly unpredictable how teams have defended, Chelsea in the last few weeks have struck upon a consistency. And actually, where are the other combinations that would challenge them as the best in the country? That there are not many out there. I did a piece with Sol Campbell a few weeks back, and he was bemoaning the fact that Virgil van Dijk's pretty much the only amazing central defender in the Premier League at present, and that was before Thiago Silva really imposed himself on the division. But Virgil van Dijk's out for the season. Aymeric Laporte isn't playing very often for Manchester City for various different reasons, and you actually look at it, and Thiago Silva and Kurt Zouma suddenly seems like a proper partnership that could, a solid base upon which Chelsea could mount a surprising challenge.